republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First thing on the agenda is Morgan Fetter.
Hello, County Council. Thank you for allowing me to be here and speak on behalf of an important topic in Pulaski County. I also want to thank the representatives tonight to support the same topic. My name is Morgan Fetter, and I'm here as a member of the Pulaski County Early Learning Network, a program of the Community Foundation of Pulaski County. The Early Learning Network is the childcare coalition of Pulaski County, and we have been working to increase the number of quality childcare seats available to our community. In fact, this has been an ongoing conversation for several years. The Community Foundation of Pulaski County, in partnership with the Community Foundation of White County, commissioned a study on the need for childcare. The results showed that Pulaski County employers experience an annual loss of $2.1 million each year, due directly to the lack of available childcare in the community. It is very difficult for parents to enter the workforce when they don't have access to reliable or affordable childcare. This need is also reflected in the Pulaski County Strategic Visioning Plan that came out of a series of community listening sessions hosted by the Community Foundation. You can read the report on the Community Foundation's website and in the packet of community reports that Leanne Wright delivered at a county council meeting earlier this year. Pulaski County clearly has a proven need for more childcare because of its effects. It affects our local businesses and local economy. More importantly, it affects our hardworking families. Undeniable information that also came from these reports is that Pulaski County is a childcare desert. For each childcare seat available, we have more than 3 children who need care. This is particularly evident on the west side of the county, where there isn't a single licensed childcare facility. That's why the Early Learning Network is collaborating with a number of local businesses and individuals to renovate the former St. Francis Solano Catholic Church on Montgomery Street in downtown Francesville. This is right next to the Salem Township Public Library. This building is owned by a local nonprofit and will be provided to Francesville's Caterpillar Corner, a nonprofit childcare center, for only $10 a year. Childcare is expensive, so all of these efforts are helping to decrease the overhead costs that would ultimately be put on our families. This is truly a community-led project. Some of this project was able to be funded by an FSSA grant administered by the Community Foundation, but as it was federal funding, there were many restrictions that limited our ability to fully address the needs for this project. To complete the renovation and support operations, we have a goal of raising $100,000 that will be matched dollar for dollar by the Community Foundation's Gift 8 initiative. I am pleased to report that we are 76% of the way to our goal because of many generous families, individuals, and 19 of our local businesses. They all feel the negative impact due to lack of childcare, and they want to make a difference. With your help, we can get closer to our goal. My ask of you is to consider a gift of $20,000 from the Solar Economic Development Fund to help open the doors of the West Side's only licensed childcare center. When considering economic development, there are few things that have a higher return on investment than quality early childcare education and care, especially from birth to 5 years old, which this facility will provide. Our children are the future of Pulaski County, and they are arguably the most important investment we can make. Finally, I just want to close with something that I learned and has stuck with me after attending a Community Foundation Leadership Summit 6 years ago. Pulaski County is in the top 5 counties in Indiana for declining population. I truly believe we have made great strides countywide since then, but the challenges and disparities of Pulaski County aren't new. They've been brewing for decades. While the topic of solar in our county is very divisive, and I am certainly not here to speak pro or anti-solar, I do feel that the county has been given an opportunity to make a real impact on improving the lives of the people and businesses in Pulaski County. And these positive impacts can start to heal the divide. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little envious of your roles and your opportunity to make a real true difference and change in this county. This impact can start today with helping our youngest citizens and ultimately turning the tides for Pulaski County. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from the board?
Does the money have to come from the solar, or is there anything that Nathan could come up with out of the C.D.C?
I don't know that at this point we have anything in my budget with that extent. I think ultimately the reason that when I first had this conversation with Morgan and with Logan Weetrick, that we talked about coming to the council about solar project money is because it would not be coming out of Pulaski County taxpayer revenue and affecting our operational budget in any way. There's nothing that says the county couldn't support this through other means, but the solar project fund is the one fund that isn't going to take money out of our operational tax funds. And Morgan, relevant question before I follow up with a little more to Brad. Has Caterpillar Corner secured all of its nonprofit? Is it IRS, everything?
Yes, they received their status last week.
Perfect, thank you. The revolving loan fund, that was recommended to me, someone could look into, but besides the fact that we have not reopened it, that is not eligible for nonprofit entities, only for for-profit businesses.
Okay, any others?
Okay, I'm going to make a motion for the Pulaski County Council to allocate a portion of our economic development payments to support our 4 schools and Caterpillar Corner. The motion is to help with the negative effects of Senate Bill 1, which has placed an additional burden within our schools. We had a legislative seminar with Kendall Culp last Thursday, and he spoke to us about how the schools are really getting hit hardest with Senate Bill 1, and they don't have another revenue stream to offset that decline. So the motion is as follows. Winnemac, $90,000. West Central, $55,000. Culver, $9,000. North Judson, St. Pierre, $5,000. And a direct payment to the Caterpillar Corner operations for $20,000. I believe this motion recognizes the critical role these schools play in education and the well-being of Pulaski County. And then we can revisit how to spend the rest of the economic development payments at a further time. Which part? The motion is as follows. Winnemac, $90,000. West Central, $55,000. Culver, $9,000. North Judson St. Pierre, $5,000. And a direct payment to Caterpillar Corner operations for $20,000.
Got a motion, I hear a second. I'll second that motion.
It was based on the enrollment. So Pulaski County enrollment within each school, and then roughly $100 per student.
Yes.
I don't know if you did. Jeff, did you second it?
Is there, I don't think I want to repeat that motion, but you guys heard it twice. But it was for 90,000, 55, 5 and 9, 20 to Caterpillar Corner for the operation fund. And no, is there any discussion?
I have one question. This is coming out of economic development funds,
Coming out of that.
or excuse me, solar
Same.
funds. What's the timeline? I guess my question would be, this is definitely fits into all the needs that priorities, I think, are positive to our community. adaptable as well. But, I guess my only question would be, what's the timeline on putting together procedures and allocations of how we're going to use revenue that comes from solar?
No, I think this is put on to right now.
Right, I just didn't know
Then,
for.
then we need to start
for future
getting it.
money.
I brought stuff maybe 2 meetings ago, and it was great. I mean, I thought, but it wasn't so great after started talking like the Randolph County. Oh, you don't want to do it. Shelby County. Oh, you don't want to do it that way. You don't want to somebody at your meeting, every meeting. That's that like board up, let them decide on how to spend money. Recommendations. There's a lot of stuff.
I just think
A lot of
it's
stuff.
important that we get that done.
That's not really this subject. That's another subject. That's got to be done. I don't know. Nathan, or we have the money, right? Fund.
660 or 670,000 at this point.
There was a $25,200 penalty payment from Doral that they agreed to because they were a year behind on their payment schedule, and we amended the economic development agreement to account for that and to push the schedule back. There was $125,200 that came from NextEra because our previous county attorney saw what I had done with Mammoth and decided he would just try to get even more as a concession. And then $350,000 from Doral's 2024 payment and $175,000 from the first half of their 2025 payment.
The economic development payment. $179,000. I just from the basis of the Pulaski County residents that attend those schools, each kid gets $100 roughly. That's where the numbers came.
I have some discussion, and there was some reservations on the board at Caterpillar Corner. Best use it, right? The money should go to the board, used for the operation.
Correct.
That way, I'm for. Any other discussion? For discussion, we'll vote. All those in favor, signify.
Wait a minute, Mike. It just, what you explained, does that affect?
Ian Wright from Community Foundation. If I may, if the gift could come directly to Community Foundation, so we could match it, and then Community Foundation would pass it to Caterpillar Corner.
For
They can-
operation?
For operation.
Oh, that's fine then.
Yeah.
Okay.
That way we can best leverage the resources available. to us.
Yeah, okay. But I don't know, we just kind of want it to go for operation. We don't want it to fail. You know, you spend it all on the building, and then the building would fail, but they have like there's stipulations in the building that has to be used for a daycare. So, I don't know, I like the operation. You don't want it. And I think the way I hear, there's gonna be a lot of people. That's Francesville, Dairyville, I've been hearing. Anyway, any more discussion? No discussion, let's vote. Motion. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Carried. Thank you.
Everybody vote.
Oh.
Brad, did you,
I didn't say nay, did I?
pardon me?
I didn't say nay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next thing on the agenda is Pamela Frank.
Yep. Video.
Hello there. Afshin, would you like to take over?
Yes. Thank you all for giving us the time. I understand we have just about 15 minutes. And I will spend maybe a couple of minutes to give you guys a bit of a background and then show you briefly what it is that we do. Hopefully leave a few minutes for questions at the end. We've been around for 25 years. We were funded by the state on the pilot project that was extremely successful, reviewed by the President's New Freedom Commission, and recommended to the nation as a transformative tool. Our project was also funded by the federal government through various grantees via SAMHSA. And today we are active in about 26, 27 states with more than a few hundred sites around the country. All the product you see, by the way, you can access these sites at any time at networkofcare.org. You can pick a product, behavioral health, family domestic violence, homelessness, public health. Today we are looking at behavioral health. You can pick a state and the local jurisdiction and visit that site. I've loaded a couple already to go over. All of our sites are structured the same way. They're all Section 508 compliant for American with Disabilities Act. We offer all threshold languages at the local community level, and we have designed our sites so all navigation and sub-navigations get translated when we change languages. These are our primary channels. I go through them in a few minutes. Most of what happens here in our service directory, and these sites, they belong to our clients, so they can publish anything they want. This client has published their 988 announcement. And if you look at Nebraska, they have also their 988, but they also have an option for people to text the phone number and get results from our sites. And there are all different variations in between. We can use our AI navigator to search a resource directory, or you can go down the category list, which we put together in partnership with our clients. Now, if you come online and you're in Oklahoma side and say, I am a veteran with PTSD and I need housing, or whatever you might say, we could kind of synthesize that question and understand what it is that you really are interested in. Provide you with resources relative to housing, rent assistance, housing counseling, and you can simply say, what else do I need? And we'll give you mental health resources, substance use disorder. This is relative to your PTSD issue. And if you come to this here, you can look at the shelters that are in your area. We know about 2/3 of our visitors looking for services for somebody else. So we try to give you all the contact information we have right here, and you can share it with the rest of the care team via email. You can text it to your cell phone right from here. You can save it to share with the rest of the care team in the future in your secure folder here. Or you can print it and hand it to them in their office. You can look for more information. We slide the information over. A brief description, additional contact information, and hours of operation. And if you see something is wrong, you can tell us and we verify, validate, and update in 48 hours. Every single page in the site is portable you can share it with other people. But if you come in and you say, I also have depression, we'll do the search for you, but because this is a medical condition, we can also connect you to practitioners in your local area for psychiatry, clinical psychologists, geriatric psychiatry, mental health counselor, addiction medicine. We can also bring you content about what is depression and what are all the different kinds of depression. So as soon as a medical condition is part of the query, we can educate you about your issue. That will allow you also to share all of this content with the rest of the care team. Going back to the homepage, This database is entirely our responsibility. We manage and maintain the whole thing for our clients. These categories are put together in partnership with the client. Some want to call it food, some call it food, meals, and nutrition. Some has a line for basic needs and have all the basic needs as a subcategory. It's a client's choice. What we do, however, we connect those categories to national standards, which is ARIS taxonomy for health and human social services. So if you ever wonder what is congregate mail, we can tell you a brief description of it, taxonomy code for the professional information and referral people is here. And obviously, then you can look at the list of the resources it's community. This behaves the same way as we were looking at earlier. But we know if you're looking for congregate mail, you might also need these other services which we offer up to you, and you can write the review. And again, you can update the listing. If you find that something is wrong, we verify, validate, and update in 48 business hours. We also bring a large menu of content for our clients. Nationwide news get published every year. Database of licensed physicians in your area with filtering options such as radius to where you are, whether or not they accept Medicare. HERSA, all the health centers in the United States are here. So they're in Oklahoma. If you type in name of a city or a zip code, we could then list for you all the health centers in your area. This is for health insurance insecure population. That's the one place they can go get help. On service directory, we also have all the hospital rating, all the nursing home, a care guide, which is designed to help a care team understand the issues and conditions, medications, and local support. It's based on the Coleman model that says if the care team are aware of all of these issues, we could reduce recidivism rate to institutional care by double digit. We also have an inclusion policy, which we work with the client to put together. This would be our guideline to manage and maintain your database. We have a library of educational information, about 30,000 peer reviews, validated articles. This is if you're looking for mental health and behavioral health issues. We highlight the top 6. We are the only public outlet for this article out of HealthWise. We partner with them for the entire 25 years. We really like it because it's written to an 8th grade educational level, but it's also organized in the way a family or an individual is faced with this one issue. What causes it? What are the symptoms? When should I call a doctor? What are every single medication approved by FDA? And who wrote it and when it was last updated? Always 2 physicians involved. No article older than 2 years. This entire section gets republished every 3 months. There's some related information here for your later articles. So if you're looking for depression, this additional information might also be helpful to you. Legislative, every bill currently active at the state and federal level dealing with mental health, behavioral health issues. This is also a request from local advocacy organization. Client have an option to turn every silo of content and information on and off here. Many of our clients don't want to legislate, so we can just as easily turn that off for them. Community resources are, we manage about 20,000 links. We always start at the state and then national level. These are not direct service providers. These are additional information or organization that can be helpful to our visitors. Support and advocacy organization behave the same way. We just list all the links. Our goal is to connect you to your local chapter. And towards that end, we'll connect you with the state, national, local resources that can help you do that. There are specialty content areas here. You can look at the opioid resources. If a client of ours anywhere in the country asks us to build something, if it applies to the rest of the network, they all will get it. So update and upgrades will be coming your way regularly. Here right now, this is opioid resources. It was requested, I believe, by New Mexico. Now the whole country have it. They start by educating you about your treatment option, various payment option, all the services and resources in the community that could be helpful to you. National numbers you can reach out to in the event of a crisis. Additional resources such as drug disposal site, naloxone carrying pharmacy, buprenorphine practitioner, where there is needle exchanges or other services in the community, we also list those. Our goal is always to educate, inform, provide access to resources and treatment, and support and reintegration. And it doesn't change when we build this mini network of cares or these content silos for this specific target population. We connect you with services and resources, and we educate you about the issues, and then we connect you with other resources in your area. Same is true with suicide prevention. We start with the suicide resources, but then we know that housing, finance, and employment are triggers for this population. So we also give you direct access to those resources.
Hey, we only had just a second, sir. Sir.
Support that reintegration. Same is true with disaster section. Couple of other things I can briefly show you all. This
Is this AI giving this presentation?
But I wanted to show you briefly that we
Cut
started
him off.
trying to create that no longer one-stop shop for 2 counties that we were consulting with at the time. We were
Sir.
on the website.
Sir,
We
sir.
create that no longer one-stop shop.
Where's our camera?
Afshin, can you pause for a minute, please?
Sure.
Yeah, we had you down for 10 minutes and you've already exceeded your 10 minutes. And if I'd like for the board to ask any questions they had right now, and 'cause we have to move on. We have a busy agenda tonight.
I understand, my apologies.
No, you're fine. Just trying to get you to stop. So I asked if you were AI. Is this the guy AI here telling me this or what? It's like, oh, he doesn't stop. I'm sitting here waving. So anyway, is there the board have any questions for,
I have one question. Does Trilogy sell any of the data that they receive?
No, in fact, our entire platform are commercial free, advertising free, and we don't use the data for any purpose whatsoever, other than making the site perform better, which is no personal data. We use data in aggregate to identify traffic pattern, to find out if 20 people click on this and then click on this other thing, we should make that easier for them, and things like that. There is no marketing or transaction or sales activity happening on our site. These are publicly funded platforms for public service, so there is no commercial activity at all.
Thank you.
okay, thank you for your presentation. We'll, take that, look into it, and we'll move on with our agenda. Thank you.
Thank you all. Have a great afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity. Have a great day.
Yep, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Well, the next thing on the agenda is Nathan, but we're gonna switch the agenda with Joel in because Nathan may take longer than his 10 minutes. Looks like.
I got a lot to say.
Yeah, so we got, let's go with Joel in because no use her staying here missing the Price is Right. Wheel of Fortune or something, I don't know. Yeah.
So I was able to speak to you individually. We're all rushing around. I need to thank all of you. So thank
Yeah, it's
Can you hear me now?
better.
Back during budget time, when I asked for Becky McRoy to go full-time, I had presented it to the board. I wanted to combine them and make those the basis of her pay. And anything else could be subsidized out of the clerk perpetuation fund. But that isn't what happened. And I am the office holder. It's totally my responsibility to have caught it. I did not. But I am asking to reappropriate money into those county general clerk department line items for the base of Becky's. We've got a really busy year coming up. You're all well aware.
Okay. Anybody wanna,
Okay, I'll go ahead and make a motion to combine the two line items.
Second that.
I got a motion, a second. Is there any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Price is right.
Come on down. Nathan?
Good evening, everybody. I'm going to start my presentation with a few updates, given that we have slid into the second half of the year, starting with a quick run through where things stand on our courthouse rehabilitation. Finances. Our owner's contingency's current balance is down to $20,904.17. As of now, I am comfortable with the remaining balances in our other allocations, IT, furniture, rent and movers, etc., to get us through the end of the project. And Ton and Blank still has in the ballpark of $250,000 available in the construction contingency. If necessary, that's our money. We're still holding it. We can use that for costs that we incur once they have checked off all of the last costs they will have that may come up. Additionally, we currently have $51,210.92 in accrued interest that we're not allowed to spend on the courthouse, but must spend on other county-owned facilities, and are expecting another interest deposit next week when the CD matures. I don't know exactly where that will come in. I don't know offhand what the interest rate on that CD was, but the first time we cashed out the CD and renewed it, it was about $130,000, give or take. Some of that went into our project contingency to get us to the maximum contingency we could have, and then the rest just went into this fund. So another $100,000 plus. So we'll be looking at a fairly substantial amount of money that could go towards improvements at EMS. I know I've talked with a couple of elected officials in the Justice Center about replacing some carpeting that's probably been there since the building was built in 1996. We have done a couple of small things with the fund already at the Justice Center. We put a ladder up to the upper roof from a lower roof so that maintenance doesn't have to carry an extension ladder up the steps every time they need to get up there. And we put down some mulch, but those two combined, I think, were about $9,000, $9,500. And we've got the bulk of that still available, plus the interest that'll be coming next week. Any question on finances? All right, moving on to project progress. Our second punch list walkthrough occurred last Tuesday, 2 Tuesdays ago. The 1st of July was it was a much smoother, quicker procedure than the first punch list walkthrough, and we've established that date as the official day of substantial completion. For the next several weeks, punch list corrections, which are already ongoing, will be made, along with the completion of a few odds and ends. By the end of July, construction trailer will be gone, fencing will be gone, and our superintendent will be shifting to having a part-time presence on the job site. We are waiting on a few door slabs that are delayed and some door hardware, as well as the meeting room table and some additional furniture that we'll likely have to order now that the dust is settled. But the bulk of the new furniture installation was completed last week. We still have refinished pieces in storage and others still being refinished. IT work, and then obviously moving everyone back into the building, but we are slowly, steadily closing in on total completion. Questions about project progress at this point? All right, moving on to C.D.C. and general updates other than the courthouse. County Comprehensive Plan. As you may be aware, CRPC will be applying to the Office of Community and Rural Affairs on Pulaski County's behalf for a planning grant to develop a new Pulaski County Comprehensive Plan. Statements of qualification were due to my office this afternoon, and we received responses from 2 firms interested in it. I would have liked to have seen interest from at least 1 or 2 more, but I am grateful that the 2 that did submit are very well-regarded, capable firms that have a lot of experience, one of which has done work for the county and one of which has done a lot of work in neighboring counties and is very familiar with the sort of issues we face in a rural community in Indiana. We'll be scheduling interviews with firms, and our committee will make a recommendation to the Board of Commissioners. CERC will hold the required grant application public hearing at the Board of Commissioners' first August meeting. County website. We are almost ready to go live with it. Everything the developers need to do other than turning it on is done, except for sitting down with me later this month to kind of tutor me on some of the more intricate functions that are new relative to the current site's toolkit. Besides needing a little bit of extra guidance with these new features, the only thing that had kept me from instructing them to activate it is that I have been working on getting various meeting documents uploaded from the last 6 months or so. Like everything prior to January and maybe through January, they had transferred from the current website to the new website. But after they sort of did the soft handoff, they were no longer transferring documents. And so everything that was going on to the live website, I've now been going back and getting on to the new one so that we are fully compliant with the new live streaming regulations and everything that came along with them effective the 1st of July. So I've got a meeting on the books with them for later this month. Once we get through that, we should have the website live by the 1st of August. Any questions on what I've covered so far?
Yeah, I got one there.
Yes, sir.
How about this resolution number 2025-08? Is that anywhere on the website?
I don't know what it is.
That's the one that's a resolution for county council policy and procedure.
I'm not sure.
I looked yesterday and I couldn't find it. It don't matter. You can look later.
But
I just wanted to make sure that was on there somewhere.
I looked as well.
But I will get with Teresa and I'll check, see if she sent it to me and I just missed it, or if she needs to send it to me, and I'll be sure to get it on there.
I talked to Commissioner Street and asked him, and he thought it was on there. And I kept looking and never did find it. Anyway, just.
It is actually, it is on the county council page on the website.
County council. Okay.
It is there.
Fine.
But it is not it is not towards the bottom in the menus, but it is on the website, on the county council page, and I can get it in that menu in 30 seconds.
Thank you.
All right, quickly on housing projects. As of 3 weeks ago, Sullivan Development was on schedule to deliver the finished Willow Creek Villas apartment complex by mid-September. There's some paperwork I need to get caught up on so we can get back on track with the proposed project, but the required appraisals have been completed for both the county farm and some privately owned land that has been discussed for a land swap in order to move forward with the proposed Ready 2.0 funded project. As you all may recall, we have a tentative award of $1 million to support infrastructure development for a housing project. That was a long-term project that grew out of efforts, collaboration between my office and the Community Foundation over the last few years. The landowner and I are comfortable with the details, and I'll be convening the redevelopment commission fairly soon and getting the documentation to the county commissioners so that we can all determine if we feel that this is still a good fit for the community at this point. Any question there before we move on to the preliminary resolution you have in front of you this evening? All right. Then in your packets, you have Pulaski County Resolution number 2025-10, a preliminary resolution with the establishment of an economic revitalization area for the Mammoth Grazing Lands Project. As you'll likely all remember, except for AJ, who has not, I think, been through this process before, the resolution will trigger several steps if you adopt it tonight. I will be instructed to have a third-party tax and economic impact studies completed, to convene the Economic Development Commission for at least one executive session and at least one public session for the purposes of reviewing the completed tax abatement application and other pertinent materials such as those aforementioned studies, and interviewing the applicant before they agree on a recommendation to the county council pertaining to the application. I will be responsible for ensuring the publication of a legal notice for a council public hearing on the matter, and I will draft or have drafted a confirmatory resolution to be considered by the council following aforesaid public hearing. We will be scheduling this hearing for your September rather than August meeting, which would typically be the case in the past, so that we have sufficient time for all of these processes to play out, and the Economic Development Commission has plenty of opportunity to review the documentation, interview the applicant, consider whether or not they need to have another meeting or another executive session or both, further questions they may want to answer, so that when they vote on a recommendation to the council, they have had plenty of time to do their due diligence and feel comfortable with what they say to you. As always, the adoption of this preliminary resolution in no way guarantees that the land in question will receive the designation or that the applicant will receive any assessed value deduction on qualifying manufacturing property used for the generation of electricity. It only guarantees that the process will move forward and that the applicant and the public will have the opportunity to be heard in September prior to a final determination by the council. I will hand things over to a Doral representative in a moment to talk about the project in greater detail and to field any questions they are able to field from the council this evening. But I would like to make one comment first that I think is critical for the council to understand as our fiscal body. Unless our legislators revisit some of the more problematic language in Senate Enrolled Act of 2025 over the next couple of years, as some of you are probably aware, especially if you were able to attend Representative Culp's presentation last week, we are facing a worse problem than simply a reset of our annual property tax levy that will actually lower it relative to where we thought it would be over the next few years. While the new legislation increases the maximum operational income tax rate from 2.5%, where we're currently maxed out, to 2.9%, it restructures the rate in such a way that the county share will be capped at 1.70%. While other units will have the right, with the council's blessings, to adopt their own rates so that depending on where someone lives, their cumulative rate could reach that 2.9%. Currently, the county government's effective tax rate, once we account for all of the revenue sharing from the different funds, is about 1.8841%. That's generating about $6.454 million for us in 2025, notwithstanding our supplemental distribution. Under the terms of SEA 1, with the maximum rate of 1.70%, we would see a decline in revenue of about 9.77% this year, more than $630,500. We don't know how much of a tax abatement should be approved, if any, or what the total economic development payments should look like if an EDA is executed, until we have seen the Baker-Tilly study later this summer. But we know two things. Those economic development payments certainly would come in handy to offset the harm the IGA has seen fit to do to our income tax revenues as it continues to consolidate party power at the state level instead of actually believing in home rule. And every acre of land reclassified from agricultural to utility will see an increase in assessed value of more than $10,000 and won't qualify for the additional deduction that the county will be required to grant to agricultural property for the first time ever, which means a substantially smaller negative impact on our revenues and our net levy. I will now turn things over to Michelle Fries with Doral to talk about the project.
Is this up a little bit? Nathan, am I good?
As long as you speak directly at.
Okay, perfect. Good evening. My name is Michelle Fries, Director of Development for Doral Renewables. Today, with me, I have Chris Shellman, outside counsel, and Kevin Parzik, Vice President of Doral. Today, we're following an established process as determined by this governing body, and it's why we find ourselves before you today. In the audience, there's several of our participating landowners, many of whom started out as part of our Mammoth Solar project, having signed a solar lease dated as back 2019. At that time, Doral secured 2 queue positions, MISO, the regional transmission operator of the NIPSCO power line. And while additional landowners signed with us, and as spots filled, marked the inception of a new project, 945 megawatts, called Mammoth Grazing Lands and Pastures. This project is 3 years in the making, as the process to acquire land and secure our interconnection is not a quick process. And just last week, Doral Renewables received positive results from MISO, moving Mammoth Grazing Lands and Pastures to the next phase, and prompting our approach for your approval to start a conversation. While this may very well feel like deja vu, we're presenting a different project to you today, having added more acres since our previous submittal in February. Members of the Doral team are here today to address questions raised by the council. Those specifics about community and financial benefits will be addressed in the next 3-month process. In closing, I want to thank members of the County Council for their consideration, while reminding everyone here today that this is step 0. Today's vote is a vote to start the conversation. It's not a vote on the abatement itself. I want to thank the council, and I hope that you find favor in our request to continue the conversation.
Thank you. Any questions from the council?
So it is my understanding, some of this acreage that you're wanting this to go forward with was voted on.
That's correct.
I don't, thought once it was voted down, it's not to vote.
No actual confirmation. Resolution. So we are requesting start of the process.
Same
process.
start. On some of the same land. Correct.
Correct. Some of that land is included. Larger project, which ultimately offers more benefit to the county.
Sir, can you speak louder?
Some of the land was already at previous request. That previous request didn't go anywhere. No action taken. Therefore, we're back today with a larger project, which offers more benefits for the county going forward. Any other questions from the council?
Do any other counties accept the economic development payment without a tax? You pay double. On some counties, you pay the property tax and economic development payment without a tax.
Not traditionally.
Do any other counties ask for that, though?
Doesn't typically take the form of an economic development agreement. Sometimes you'll see host agreements, but those would be different types of activities.
Oh, White County does.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. White County gets,
Council. Yeah, he said we tax abatement. Renovations. Laws, they don't tax abatement. Loss for the county. He'd encourage, he's like, don't take from us, we're White County. County around, like, done doing tax abatement. Done and that's great. Economic plan, tax.
That would ultimately be a net reduction in revenue for the county.
Lose a lot.
farmland, jobs. Very smart.
Any other discussion?
Yeah, this is the beginning of the conversation. At this point, in this discussion, we haven't decided whether impact study, financial fiscal study, accounting. Then we decide going forward whether we'll do partial tax abatement, 100% tax abatement, development plan. But we are not, with this
Correct.
resolution here, we're not locked in to any agreement that is binding going forward.
No term or scope is set. So any of the possible levels, amounts, lengths, payments, none of that is set, not even up to be discussed because we will see studies and see what the impact is.
So do you guys pay for the study?
Yes.
Okay, I wanted to clarify that.
So when we went through this process several years ago, the terms for
I
payment.
kind of knew the answer before I asked the question, but I just wanted to make sure
The
everybody,
terms
we're
of the
not paying for
payment
this.
were actually built into the economic development agreement. So theoretically, had the council not awarded those tax abatements or the council or board declined to execute the EDA, we would have had no legal recourse for getting those paid. So I'm actually going to ask our attorney to review a very brief agreement that I'm going to draft that requires payment beforehand. So even if the abatement doesn't go through, the county isn't on the hook for those costs.
Yeah, because, with the when Baker Tilly does it, I don't know, I've had some conversations with a few on the board here that if we got so many $1 million, we could just pay off the courthouse, get all the money up front because there's companies that come around because the guy made a wrong phone call to me and was talking on the phone one day thinking I was somebody else and it wasn't him. And he explained all this, buying the contracts out, like, for the revenue stream. So there's a lot of ways you can talk, but if we don't vote for this, we're never going to know.
Correct. But I'm going to present a contract to them that would address payment now instead of waiting to see if the EDA is passed so that we aren't left in a limbo like that.
Yeah.
As always, we welcome that. We'll work with you to protect the county.
Any more discussion?
But, yes, they didn't meet their obligations the first time in a timely, when the contract said. So why do you want to continue? We're the bankers here for Pulaski County. How many times would you go to the bank, not meet your obligation, and then go back again, and they welcome you in?
Okay.
How many violations have they already not followed?
I didn't hear that.
How many violations have they already made?
I don't know that you'll have.
At least 200. I mean,
Well, how many have they made? You know the answer. You're asking me the question. You know the answer.
245.
Okay, then.
Good to know that they're not even following on.
Reference? I don't either.
I got a question on the 2025-10 resolution, where it starts with number 1, the council adopts and approves its preliminary resolution, hereby establishes the affected parcels as economic revitalization area for a period of 40.
So that is not what is proposed for a length of a potential tax abatement. That is simply a designation. So if Bronability were to come in here, we would do the same thing. And that just means that in the future, let's say this project wraps up and there's a new technology somebody wants to develop, or solar panels again, the public hearing is still required, but the first resolution is not. This covers it. So it means in 20 years, they could come through this with one fewer step. That's been standard practice in the county for a long time, regardless of the type of project, that we just set I think in the industrial park, it's in perpetuity, as long as that land out there is used for industrial purposes, it is eligible for tax abatements without doing the preliminary resolution. But the state statute still caps how long the actual abatement period can last.
Any other discussion of the board?
I just want to go back and kind of clarify something that I hear about the time. Even though whatever company is that's providing the study, whether it's Doral or some other company that's coming into this county to do business and they ask for the same preliminary resolution, when the feasibility study is done and all, that is done by the company of our choice, not by your choice.
Correct. We just pay for it. Your council, with Nathan, you select anybody you want.
Thank you.
Any more discussion from the council? Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to go ahead and start step one of this process.
Do I want a second? Got a motion, a second. To start the process.
Preliminary
Preliminary
resolution.
2025-10. Is that what your motion? Jeff seconded. Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Nay, they got, how many nays? Raise your nays. 2 nays? 3 nays. Carried. 3. Thank you. Ethan, you have anything else?
Unless you have anything for me.
Well, we have to approve and sign the council minutes from the this road, right? Got the council minutes. And then what's the 6-5?
Executive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Then we had a set of joint meetings.
but that's, yeah, we'll do that. We'll do those in August. Yeah, we'll do the joint minutes.
So can I make a motion? Approve them? Okay, can I make a motion to approve the minutes from the 6-5 and the 6-9 meetings?
Here, a second. I'll second it. All those in favor, okay, we got a motion second to approve the minutes as presented. Any discussion? No discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. We have some transfers here.
Oh, don't forget my abatements.
Oh,
What?
yeah, the last email.
I added my abatements. My new,
Oh, yeah, I got it right here. Oh, you want to approve these?
yep.
Okay, did everybody receive the abatements listing? Okay,
Hold on a second.
basically it's, standard properties, about $60,000. Eden Valley didn't get their, that's the lettuce place in Francesville. They didn't get their, paperwork in, and they've tried to several times, ask them, and it didn't happen, so it went to 0 this year. And that, I don't know if anybody recalls that happened at Vanderhaeg's last year, which is called Des Moines TPE. But then Fratco has around 100,000. Derek Stahlbaum, 669,000. Bronze, 84,000. Metal Fab, 29,000. Vanderhaeg's is 2,088,000. It comes up to a total of real property is 2,782,000, and personal property is $252,000. So this has been, this auditor presented this, and we need to approve this. I don't know how many years are left, though. That'd have been,
Oh, yeah, I could
I
have,
know Derek, I called Derek because I didn't think he had it anymore.
yeah,
And
he still has probably 7 or 8 years
7
left.
years.
Yeah,
The first year he came in, he said he didn't file. Actually, half year.
mhm. Yeah, several of these are dwindling as far as, I know Standard Properties is about up, and so is the real estate for Fratco, or Francesville Drain Tile is also getting close to the end. And then, like I said, Vanderhaeg, which is Des Moines, TPE, they just started because they missed filing last year, so theirs is just beginning.
Okay.
Can
we
I
need
ask a question? So the Eden Valley one where they didn't file the paperwork, is that
Mhm.
because they forgot to file the paperwork or because
Holly
they're?
sent them the paperwork, and she called them and got
So
nothing
that's,
back from them.
so if they come back next year, it'd be like Vanderhaeg's, right? Like, so if they come back next year and they file everything,
Yeah.
okay.
Sheila, you may recall, the Putt family sold Eden Valley to an out-of-state, company that is in the herbs and lettuces business. As Teresa said, Holly has had communication with them. I've had several conversations with them, and they've had some internal issues with their accounting people, and somebody dropped a ball and then somebody else dropped a ball, and I don't even know if they have gotten their return in, let alone their abatement paperwork. I know that it's been an ongoing issue for me and the assessor's office trying to get them acclimated to how property taxes are managed in Indiana relative to other states where they operate. But yes, as you suggested, if they get everything straightened out and a year from now they are operating at a level commensurate with the promises that Eden Valley made when they received the abatement originally, they can come back and the council could just say, all right, you missed year 4 or whatever, you can pick up on year 5. They would go at the year 5 rate. It's not like the schedule would be pushed back or something. They would just miss out on a year.
Was this information or we approve it?
You're approving it.
Entertain a motion to approve this.
I'll make a motion to approve the abatements as presented.
Anybody want a second? Brad, second. Okay, we have a motion to approve this as presented. Any discussion?
I do have one question. I assume looked at to make sure that they met the requirements of the
And I know Holly has looked at them, and then to make sure that because she gave me the personal property ones, because she's the one that gives me the information, and then also she printed out the property record cards for me for the real estate, and she had looked over them as well.
Any other discussion? With no more discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Tim, you're opposed? Tim opposed, 1 nay. Motion carried. So now we're to the transfers. We got an email full of those. Prosecutor, $900 for acquisition of evidence. Prosecutor, $600, adult protective services to dues and subscription. EMA, schools and meetings to equipment to schools and meetings, extension, rents and leases to equipment repair, extension, travel to postage, building department, travel to miscellaneous service charges. They all amount to about $3,000. Brad made a motion. Anybody want a second? 10 seconds. We have a motion to approve the transfers as presented. Is there any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, we have additionals. We have the highway, $100,000 to equipment for a tanker. Prosecutor, $9,500 to part-time help. $250 for SS and Medicare, Social Security. Where's the 100,000 coming out of, Gary? Where's the 100,000? Then shouldn't it be a transfer then?
Not appropriated.
So it wasn't in your budget? Okay. Anybody want to make a motion for the additionals?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I got a motion, a second. In motion. Is there any discussion? If no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Now we have to advertise some additional. Superior Court, Pauper Council to Pettit Jurist, Plan Commissioner for Professional Services.
These are ones that you, at your last meeting, these have been advertised already.
Okay,
These are just the final approval.
okay. So, anybody want to make a motion to approve those? Here, a second. Don't everybody jump at once. Okay, got a motion. F, Brad, second. For number 4, advertise additionals. All those, any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? No opposed. Motion carried. So then we're down to discussion. How you say that? Lirio Resources, request for funding. Got an email for that?
It says it's formerly known as C.D.C. Resources. They are saying that they are wanting to provide more services in Pulaski County for children with disabilities, and also vital services to adults. I had got this as a request to be looked at by you.
Look at that at budget time. I don't think we want to do any more additionals. Anybody here want to do additionals? We will table that till budget time. All right, so
I'll remember.
Okay.
I'll remember.
Sheriff has the commissary report. Hand us that.
Sheriff, can you address them for the microphone, please? Thank you.
Twice a year, I'm required by statute to give commissary report in January and July. This is my second report. That changed this year to 3 times. October, and give a copy of if you came in, I gave a copy of it. Have any questions? This is prisoner money. This isn't tax money. So everything we spent goes through this fund. It's out to money in and the money out. See me again in October. Ending balance is almost 6,000 in December. Balance now. Reason the difference is at the end of December, we have a lot of cameras. Balance goes down.
No, do we need a motion to accept that or anything?
No,
Okay,
I'm just
thank you.
required by statute.
Okay,
Like I said, I'll be back. They changed the law.
okay. Yeah, I was at a council thing in Indy. They was telling us. I was at a council meeting in Indianapolis. They was telling us about it.
Yeah.
About the new laws. They told us to tell the sheriff that you guys already knew.
You can vote on it if you want to, but it's not required.
No, we don't have to. That's fine. We got enough motions.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Okay, we have this Anthem cost share, which, Teresa?
So what this is of course, every June, July, Anthem comes back to us and tells us where our expenses are as far as if our employee or employer shares go up as far as our health insurance, medical, dental, vision. Dental and vision, neither one changed as far as that goes. Medical did go up. I think it was a total of 9.5%. And what this is just telling you what the what it's going from, the amounts that the employer share, the employee share. And then with the HSA, the county pays 85% and the employee pays 15%. And then for the PPO, which is the one that is a little more expensive, but it has a lower deductible, that one is a 70-30 instead. And then the other one stayed the same, where it's a 60-40 for dental and then a 70-30 for vision.
Okay.
And I just, normally we bring it to you to let you know what's going on, and we would need a motion to approve or disapprove.
Okay. Is everybody okay with the cost share? It's the same as it was last year.
Cost shares.
So entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the cost share.
Anybody second?
I will.
Got a motion from Ken, a second from Sheila. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Now we got other board business. Anybody have any board business?
Mike, I met with, the maintenance department, I've got the assessor, the maintenance department, and extension. I met Holly, and I already brought up, about 50,000, she's gonna put that in her budget. Larry brought up, and I asked him about it, since he was in on that, what do you like on it? And he said that he thought Larry should be in that. Larry's up for his first matrix move in the pay, or for his pay, and it doesn't look like he's going to get that. So I told him just bring it up at budget time and we'll talk about it there. And Ken said that he thought he should move up. So, just so you guys know that that'll be in for the budget. And then the extension lady wasn't there, and I left her a message, so I'm waiting on her to get back to talk to her about her.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have any board business? Guess what I do? I'd like to make a subcommittee to revisit part-time pay. Would, before budgets, to do the pay for it, so.
Yes, sir.
Busy, are you?
Not too bad, as long as we can get everybody to come to the meetings.
Well, we can only have 3 of us.
Right.
Good, just that. There's some issues that people getting, I don't know if it's $18 or $19, and their interns, and then their other help, part-time help's getting basically the same. And they're like, why am I paying my part-time help so much for interns? So, I thought that was good of the department head to even say it.
Right.
It's awful good of them. Anyway, is anybody okay with looking into that? Tim? Tim is,
I'm good.
okay, I'm good. Who else wants to go? Well, I don't know, I'll jump out if somebody else wants in, but I've been working on it, it's my idea, so I don't know, whatever. It's the three, and we'll get with Teresa. I'll start an email chain and tomorrow, and he's getting your emails? No, I can do it the farm one. Best for you? Morning, afternoon?
Morning.
Okay. Is there any other board business?
Mike, before you move on to public comment, I wanted to say something about what Jeff brought up with the maintenance director. Under the matrix, department heads do not have matrix tier increases anymore because of the way it's restructured. We are at the top. So I will never get a raise except for cost of living. That is true for all of our elected officials. That is true for all of our department heads, or most of them at least, because they are like, so my job classification has a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. Department heads are automatically in that top slot.
Okay.
So he is maxed out in his position, just like I am, Carla is, and
But
so
you
on.
get the cost of living, right?
Yes, but there are no longevity increases under the current matrix for department head positions.
Okay.
Hey, Nathan is the guy at what Brad's job used to be. He's getting them. That's one of them that Larry pointed out. I thought he pointed another one out too.
Let me pull up maintenance, or let me pull up transfer. And
Were you a department head, Brad, when you? Yeah.
Hey, while you're looking at that, how about the ambulance service? Do we have that study with the hospital? That been hashed out yet?
Yeah, you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yes, there's an email and a back and forth going on between myself and Attorney Schramm. I think he just got back from vacation or was out. I called him on Friday and left a message with the staff, so I'm waiting to hear back from him. Yeah, it's been on the docket for a while.
Way
Yep.
too.
Yep.
Not. Wow. Okay.
Jeff,
Nathan?
if John Kegerice is getting longevity increases, there's a problem somewhere with our payroll. Because he should be at the same maximum level for that category as Larry, as the department head in that job classification.
Yeah, agree. Any more board comments? Board discussion, board business, I guess it's called here. Public comment. Any public comment? Well, come up here and state your name and your address after Joe.
Joe Moyer, Indian Creek Township. Michael Hicks, professor at Ball State, has made a very tentative statement on tax abatement. Does not like them. He out why work. And
It's on, you just a little far from it.
I don't know whether, I think everybody ought to read his statements on tax abatements before we go any further with them. I don't have them with me. I also question why we're even considering tax abatements with Mammoth giving their record of non-compliance. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
Hi, Bruce McDonald, Rich Grove. I have a question for the board. Has anybody actually gone up to Stark County and asked any questions about the financial situation, what's going on there with the panels and stuff? Because a lot of talk that, well, first of all, those panels aren't hooked up to anything. They're sitting there, they're generating no electricity at all because they're not, they have a moratorium on the BESS system, the battery system. Without battery system, they can't be connected to the grid. The grid won't let them, won't even talk about it until they have batteries. They're not going to take power that comes on just during the day. These farmers aren't getting that much money. All we have to do is go about 5 miles across the border and county line and talk to these people. Have any of you guys actually talked to any of these farmers that have leased land up to Mammoth Solar by chance?
This is public comment and not a dialogue.
So the answer is no. Okay, so fine. I didn't think so. But I would ask
You state your opinion.
So I'm making up.
Be respectful.
I am being respectful.
You raise your voice.
Okay, because you cut me up. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay. So my question is, can we bring in, say, Nick Cohen and ask him to describe some of the financials that are happening on this project? Because these farmers signed non-disclosure agreements that said that if these farmers are getting little to no payments for their acreage, they can't say anything about it. And since they're not, the panels aren't hooked up to anything because they don't have battery systems ready to go, they're not making any money. So it's the same company, it's Doral, right? And we have some Doral representatives here. Can we ask them about some of the financials, about what is actually being paid out to these farmers? Would be reasonable because they're right around the corner. I mean, they're 5 miles away. I mean, why are we not asking questions about, we have the advantage of Stark County took the dive into the pool, the plunge first. Why are we not using that to our advantage to get some answers about what's going on up in Stark County? So that's my point. Secondly, if we are going to go through with these panels, they don't look good. You know, and my question is going to be on the landscaping. I mean, we have an ordinance that says you can only put one trailer home per acre. You can't, you know, there's reasons why there are certain ordinances. You know, you could argue that there's plenty of properties in this county that have excess amount of junk cars too. But
thank you.
But the
Your
question
time's up. Thank you.
How much time did I have?
You had 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Sorry I raised my voice.
Good evening. I'm Magali Bob from Pulaski County, but we also have land in Stark County. So the gentleman was saying to us farmers in Stark County, we own 144 acres in Stark County, and we haven't had any issues with the payments. They have even paid more than what we thought they were going to pay, and like they were retroactive. And also the non-disclosure agreement, maybe I'm so dumb, but I didn't read anything in my contract about non-disclosure agreement. And the contracts are public, I thought. So anybody, I guess, you guys can go and look at the contract. Also, I just wanted to mention about property taxes because Nathan said something about property taxes. I don't have the 2025, I haven't had the time to do it, but in 2024, 2023, our 144 acres were almost 3,000 in property taxes. 2024, we're almost 19,000 in property taxes. That was just for 144 acres. So that's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Kevin Parzik with Doral Renewables. I live in LaGrange, Illinois, Vice President for Development. I'd like to clarify that the project in Stark County, known as Mammoth North Solar, has been operating for a number of months at or beyond its expected capacity. We are selling power into the grid at a regular basis with a power purchase agreement, and we are in compliance with all of our operating payments to landowners who are members of the project. Anything else should be that those questions, any questions that landowners may have can be addressed with Doral personnel, because anybody who says that's not operating is just wrong. And we are more than happy to sit down and explain this to any Pulaski County landowner.
No, that's not dialogue.
Just to clarify, with regard to any performance, there is no need for battery storage to operate a solar project. And at this point, none of the Mammoth projects include any battery storage. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Jim Peru. I'm Jefferson Township. I'm going to step back a little bit, take a look at the bigger picture just a little bit, if you'd bear with me. I wrote down some of my thoughts on paper and I'd like to read them. Farming today can be a challenging way to make a living. Input costs are up, equipment costs are up, land prices are up, and rent are all up. All of these increased costs provide challenges to the farmer. Additionally, the ability to offset these high input costs to make a living and raise a family are further challenged by market fluctuations. Even as good as you may be at marketing your crops, if the markets are down for an entire season, you could lose money and jeopardize your ability to continue farming. So because of the financial volatility of farming, most farmers look for ways to diversify their income. So a bad year in any sector of your diversification will not send you into bankruptcy. Solar is just one of these diversifications that allow our Pulaski County farmers to guard against financial volatility. And true to the practice of diversification, most farmers that have leased land for solar have only leased a portion of their ground so they can continue to farm traditional crops because, let's face it, most farmers simply love the lifestyle. Let's also consider the solar fields themselves. That is not land taken out of production. Instead, it has opened up the possibilities for the farmer to diversify solar acres even further. Not only are they raising a crop called electricity, but they continue to farm outside the perimeter of the field and utilize the field under the solar panels for raising sheep, goats, and even special breeds of pigs. I believe that makes utilization of the solar fields even more efficient than traditional farming. Another consideration is the ever-increasing demand by consumers for electricity in our society. Infrastructure for electric vehicle charging stations and large computer server farms are going to make a significant impact on our demand for electricity. Consider this. The coal-fired NIPSCO plant in Wheatfield will be closing in the next few years. What's going to replace it? No one wants a nuclear power plant nearby. Natural gas-fired plants are still on the drawing boards and use also precious non-renewable fuel. So the question is, what infrastructure will fill the void in power generation? I believe the only viable alternative for meeting the demand for the future is taking advantage of our most abundant natural resources, solar and wind. My challenge to you today is this. Are you ready to position Pulaski County?
Thank you. Your time.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Any more public comment?
Evening. Is it on? Can you hear me? Jenny Kniebel, Rich Grove Township. My biggest concern tonight from what I'm hearing and from what you guys are going to be deciding down the road, they've talked about the Baker-Tilly study, how that's going to be used to figure out all of the taxes and all of the money that's going to come into Pulaski County. I want you to understand that in the first project, we were told that 25% of the workforce during the construction phase is going to come from Pulaski County.
I have that study. Where is it? I'm sorry. In the study, where is it?
I'm sorry. 25% was supposed to come from Pulaski County. Currently, and based on the information that I just received from Tim at VS, I'll have as Nathan Orger, 14 employees, 13.5 during the construction phase were working on the Mammoth Solar One project. Should have been 90 employees during the construction phase. Now, I know they're going to ramp up more, but that's money that's not going to come into this county, and those numbers were given to me by VS as well as Nathan Orger. So I want you to be careful, and I want you to consider when these studies are done, these economic impact studies are done, yes, do we get to select who's going to do it? Maybe we do. But who provides the information for that study? That would be the solar developers. So if the solar developers are giving inaccurate information, and Nathan, as an economic director, I know it was supposed to be, I don't remember the exact numbers, how many employed, 25% of the workforce was supposed to come from Pulaski County. I would expect as an economic director, you would know to be able to say, that's feasible for Pulaski County, or no, we don't have the workforce here in Pulaski County to be able to do that. But those numbers for these economic development payments are all based on the information that's provided by the solar developer to Baker-Tilly doing the economic impact study. So currently, we're not where we were supposed to be. The promises that were made, the agreements that were signed, have not come to fruition. And I'm very doubtful that as construction proceeds, we're ever going to reach those numbers. So that all needs to be taken into consideration when you're considering tax abatements. I also want to speak regarding Kendall Culp. I was at the presentation that we had here this last week as well. He did mention, yes, counties are going to be taking a hit, but those counties that have renewable energy are going to be able to make up for some of that. And he was talking about personal property taxes. They're not paying personal property tax when we give them a full, I think the first one was 20-year tax abatement.
Time's up. Thank you.
Something to consider. We're throwing money away.
Hold on, I have a question. I have the impact study. She's an elected official.
And she's on the council and you're not. Does matter.
I understand your concern. Can you show me in the impact study where it says 25%?
I will show you in the agreement where I found it, yes. I'm not
Okay.
going to look it up right now, but we
Okay.
can discuss that.
Thank
Yes,
you. I
'cause
really appreciate
presented it
that.
at the last commissioner meeting as well.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Barger from tax abatement. There shouldn't be any talk anymore. I mean, I thought the tax abatement bill, taxes, my taxes were up this last. Why did they go up? It doesn't it say industrial solar? Is that what it says? Explain to me, how can industrial be getting regular rates, taxes? Not following this. Really got me confused. I've looked it up, and industrial taxes are different than supposed to be county taxes. Evidently, it's not, because something's wrong. They would need a tax abatement because we'd have money flowing in here. I mean, we'd have a lot more money out of 30,000 acres. I mean, I'm just not understanding why taxes are going up. Wanting to give tax abatements. It's wrong, maybe. It's wrong what they're doing.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Dennis Pope. I live in Franklin Township. And, we have a war in this county, and it's pretty real. There's some here that they will never vote for solar because that's just what they believe. And I don't hold it against them. Group here that that is against it. But my opinion is this. I'm a landowner in northern part of the county, and I also have land in Stark County. And I can say this, the Solars have kept their word. They have paid what they said they're going to pay. I think it's a good, somebody has asked me, well, you get a benefit. What do we get from it? And it seems the amount of money that solar is going to give to ambulances, fire departments, county roads, and other projects is substantial. And there's no way that our property tax could ever come close to that. So I hope the people on this council that have been against solar and have good reasons, to maybe look beyond, and see what financial benefit would really make a difference in people's lives. So I ask you to consider that, and so I am pro-solar. As far as to respond, my son has worked in solar fields, and these are union jobs, and there's only so many people that apply for union jobs. So to get 25%, you have to rally around and get 25% from Pulaski County for the project. So I don't know how to do that. I don't think the solar companies intentionally are doing anything wrong. I don't think there's people from Pulaski County that are fulfilling those numbers. The last point, the money taken in from me personally, I'm not a greedy person. Just because I signed up for solar. I know that my personal taxes from the county tax, I think it was at 2.8%. So that's going to go, my county taxes being paid, my taxes are being paid, my property taxes are being paid. And I live next to the solar, and I see the wildlife thriving. I see everything is green. Even in the wintertime, we have grasses, seed grasses they may not, in the dead of winter, they may not be totally green, but they're seed grasses. So for the wildlife, it's excellent.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Any more public comment?
Hi, my name is Suzanne Morrow, Rich Grove. The only comment I have is about the batteries. You had said that the batteries are not necessary. That's not what I've heard. And the electric company is not going to be the backup for when the sun isn't out. So I think you really should consider the issue of batteries. Are they going to be required or are they not? Because I don't see how it's going to operate if they don't have the batteries.
Any more public comment? Any more board public comments closed? For the business meeting, make sure you sign your papers. Brad wants to be first.